no matter what we're going through, it's inevitable. We're going to die. And I think that if you keep that at the forefront of everything that you got going on in your life, whether you're going through a difficult time, whether you're in a situation where you feel like you just want to get out of and you feel like this sucks and you're just angry, just having that constant reminder that we will die, that your loved ones will die, you will die, we are all facing a time of expiration on this earth. I think that can absolutely bring you to a place of remembrance that nothing should be taken as serious.
Matrix Productions.
Unlocking levels, unlocking levels. Hosted by Seal the Source. Tap in.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Seal the Source. Welcome back to another episode of Unlocking Levels. Hope y'all doing well. Thank you once again for your continued support. Putting this out every week, every Monday. Doing my best to step it up. I want to get to 2 episodes per week going forward. I've been getting a lot of inspiration lately in terms of seeing what other people are doing, and it's sparking some creative genes in me even more, where I just see myself adding a couple different elements to what I do with this podcast. So stay tuned. I definitely got some ideas cooking up, and I want to bring to fruition. So and yeah, I'm definitely open to suggestive and productive constructive criticism. So by all means, please tap in, reach out to me, let me know what you're thinking. Obviously, I always tell y'all to aim for each episode is always to give y'all value in what I do and what I say. I definitely want to strike a chord in however I can do it, with my voice, with my story, with my energy. However I can do that to inspire and to motivate other people. That's what I feel like I'm here to do, and that's what I'm gonna continue to keep doing and keep trying to strive to get better at. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, today's episode and topic of discussion is going to be something really important. I think that could be very useful for anybody. I think that in life there are always moments that test us, that challenge us, that really put us in a situation where we have to we can either react emotionally or choose to figure out the best course of action. And a lot of times that emotion can sometimes get the best of us, right? Where we get angry, we say stuff, we do things, we feel a certain type of way, and then our energy is all thrown off, right? So today I want to talk about this one thing that you can do when you get angry, when that big emotion stirs up all sorts of different energies in you and you feel just kind of knocked off your square a little bit. And this is actually something in continuance with last episode where I was talking about Stoicism, and I got this thing actually from Stoicism itself, and it's a phrase that was commonly used by Marcus Aurelius, and I believe it was Marcus Aurelius. I'm not exactly sure. There's so many Stoics that I kind of learn about through the work of Ryan Holiday. He brings up Seneca, Epictetus, even Plato and Socrates, plenty of philosophers. And but before I kind of digress even further, what I'm talking about is a Stoic phrase. It's actually in Latin, and the phrase is Memento Mori. MEmentoMori. And what that translates to is remember, you must die. And that is really just to serve as a reminder that no matter what we're going through, it's inevitable. We're going to die. And I think that if you keep that at the forefront of everything that you got going on in your life, whether you're going through a difficult time, whether you're in a situation where you feel like you just want to get out of and you feel like this sucks and you're just angry, just having that constant reminder that we will die, that your loved ones will die, you will die, we are all facing a time of expiration on this earth. I think that can absolutely bring you to a place of remembrance that nothing should be taken as serious. I I think for myself right now, again, being fully transparent as I always do with y'all, I'm going through some stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at a crossroads. I think I've kind of touched on it here and there, but working at this restaurant with my uncle, having that dynamic of working for a family member and working with a family member, it can get complicated. And I'm sure you've heard of some stories where it can get a little extra complicated. And this situation is no different. Especially because we're a small restaurant. We rely on each other a lot, and it definitely has its complications. And we kind of go through that quite often here. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because the challenge I'm faced with is, you're met with these moments and situations and scenarios that come up where you may be able to handle everything the best way that you can. You may be practicing stoicism, you may be practicing your own philosophies to kind of get you through certain scenarios, but the other people around you aren't handling it quite as well. And what that is doing is throwing off your whole vibe, throwing off what you do. And it's just it's another element that you have to combat, right? Not only are you dealing with the aspect of working in a fast-paced environment where there's a lot of moving parts, but you're also dealing with people that are beside you in the foxhole with you that aren't really able to kind of handle themselves. And to make things even more complicated, your family. So there's like this strong obligation to or this strong sense of obligation to kind of be there and tolerate the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And you reach a point where you feel like you're trying to do all that you can do. I'm the type of person that wants to control what I can control. I'll speak up when I need to, pick my battles. I'll do my best to keep things together, maintain a positive spirit, bring a good attitude, and just keep things together. And I've known that to be my role for a long time now, right? But at the end of the day, I'm still very much practicing these philosophies, right? I very much believe in them. I very much do my best to bring myself back to center where I can recognize that these are all opportunities for me to get better, for me to practice different virtues. But I have my moments, and sometimes other people's forces are incredibly strong, and it's really hard to tolerate and deal with, and it gets tricky. And in the heat of the moment, especially when it's fast paced or things have been kind of building up, you have these moments where you just don't show up as your best self. And for me, to bring it back to the central theme of today's topic is Memento Mori. I keep that with me constantly in my mind, because when I start to get this feeling of being angry, frustrated, impatient, whatever, these lower vibrational feelings, I say to myself, Memento Mori. I try to remind myself, like, nothing should be taken this serious, because at the end of the day, we're not going to be here forever. I'm not trying to invalidate any of the feelings that you might have in those moments. And I think it's important to address them. And I'm only offering a different way to kind of address them. I think perspective is so important. And perspective, we always have the ability to learn how to shift it and look at it through different lenses and deal with things how we choose to deal with them in a much more clear way, rather than when you get emotionally distraught and you start making decisions off of that. So I think the best thing we can do, honestly, is to remind ourselves again of what the Buddhists like to say, impermanence, which is everything's always changing, and at a certain point we're all gonna pass away. You know, I'm gonna pass away, my loved ones are gonna pass away, the people I know are gonna pass away. We all have a time where we're gonna meet our maker, quote unquote. And I think that I'm not even trying to make this in like a morbid type of thing, but if you keep that at the forefront of everything that you do, not necessarily like dwelling on death and thinking about it so much to the point where you getting scared and getting depressed, but I think that like what it can do is it could just remind you of just being here in this present moment, no matter how crazy the situation is, to try to find some enjoyment out of the experience. Never lose sight of how rare and precious this existence is, even in those moments that are less desirable than others. And a common thing I constantly always say is there's always something to gain. There's always something to learn. There's always an opportunity to grow from whatever's going on in your life. It's happening for your highest good. And I think that if you not only understand that and you realize that, but you also accept that, and you basically live your life that way, you stand to have such a better existence. I feel like you really have less of those moments where you're just like, damn, this sucks, and you're just like looking at the clock, because no matter how crazy things are getting, to be honest with you, and I'm at a crossroads right now, and I don't know exactly which direction I'm going to move in yet. I'm kind of putting some pieces together. I've got a plan in place, and I have to execute that plan, but for the time being, where I'm at, I have to do what's in front of me. You know what I'm saying? It's my duty. I signed up for it, and I'm gonna honor my commitment. But at the end of the day, I think you have to figure out what's best for you, and you gotta do that. And I'm gonna come to that conclusion at some point. I already have a general idea of what I'm gonna do, but what I'm really basically trying to say is that even in those moments that are the most challenging, that are the most difficult, that test you the most, that just puts you in this space where you're not your best self, you can still find enjoyment out of those moments, because Memento Mori reminds you all the time that we're not going to be here for long. We're not going to be here forever. We don't know when it's going to be, when our time is going to be up, but we all have a due date. Ryan Holiday talks about it all the time. He's even got a coin in his pocket that he keeps with him all the time to remind him that even in his most stressful moments, even in his most challenging, most difficult moments, he reminds himself, Memento Mori, Memento Mori. At some point, we will all die. And I think without that understanding that our time is precious, we would just keep taking it for granted. And so many of us do. And when I say so many of us, myself included, I still take my time for granted. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, like, I know I could be doing other things that are way more productive, or not even necessarily more productive, but just more geared towards my purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I tend to waste time. I go down rabbit holes just like the next person, and I lose track of time. But at the end of the day, I don't beat myself up too much about it, because I'm just going at the pace of life. I'm going at my pace. I'm not in no competition or race with nobody else. It's just me and the person in the mirror. And I'm just trying to be a better version of who I was yesterday, every single day. Sometimes I regress. Sometimes I have lulls. But the main thing is I'll keep going forward. And a good way to keep a fire lit, to keep me going, is to just remind myself of Memento Mori. Dude, stop wasting time. Stop taking time for granted, because we all must die. We're all gonna die. And you could listen to that. One can listen to that and think like that's a morbid, negative thing to say, but it's not intended that way. And I don't even think it's a negative thing to say. And I don't intend for it to be a morbid type of thing. It just serves as a reminder. This episode is to serve as a reminder. I've talked about it before in the past, and I'll continue to talk about it. Because I remember it as much as I can. I know my loved ones aren't going to be here forever, so I got to savor these moments as much as possible. Even in the moments where you don't really want to be around them. What that can do, what just Memento Mori can do, is it can remind you. It can just basically just help you realize, like, yo, dude, the shit that we're tripping about right now, is not all that important. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not like we're saving lives. It's not like we're, you know what I'm saying? Like these are just emotions. This is pride and ego that, you know, are keeping us at odds against each other, at odds with each other. And, you know, when you truly realize, you know, and you constantly remind yourself like, yo, dude, we're not going to have this forever. You know, I think that you savor it more. You become more present. You understand that you're not going to get many of these moments. You don't know how many more moments you're going to get. So it's just to savor it all, to appreciate it all, to embrace it all, and just enjoy presence. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, at work, a couple colleagues of mine, you know, we talk about this a lot. You know, even in the most stressful times, you know, we'll have situations where we review the day and we talk about what happened. And one of my buddies, he always says, look, there's going to be a day and there's going to be a time where we're not going to have this no more. You know, all the good times that we have, because it's not all bad where I'm at, and it's never all bad where you're at either. You know, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't look at your situation and make a change if you really feel like you need to make a change, like I'm considering making a change, right? But you need to, when you're analyzing and assessing your situation, you need to look at the pros and look at the cons. And I think that when you are in those situations where you're experiencing more of the pros and all the good things that come along with whatever it is you're doing, you got to realize, yo, we're not going to have this forever. There's going to come a time we're not going to be able to do what we're doing right now. I'm not going to be able to be around the people that I'm around right now. You know what I'm saying? The people that I like, that I really enjoy being around. I work with my cousin. You know, I work with my uncle. I work with his wife. I work with my boy. I work with some really good people too. You know, it's not the most perfect, ideal scenario. Not at all. Not by far. But I do respect and appreciate the experience and the opportunity, because I have so many good times. I've already created so many great memories with people, and there's going to come a time where I look back at it and be like, damn, those were some good times. You know, it was a rare moment in my life where I got to, you know, work with family. I got to do X, Y, and Z, right? And enjoy some of the perks that comes along with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think Memento Mori is the absolutely perfect reminder to just keep you focused on all the good things, not to take things too serious, and to just live your life full of passion, joy, and enjoy being present. So many great things can come from the phrase Memento Mori. And if you decide to learn more about it, I definitely recommend you check out Ryan Holiday's work. He's all over YouTube, Spotify. He's got a ton of books. He's done a lot of interviews, TED Talks. So he's not hard to find. Check out Ryan Holiday. Type in Memento Mori on Google and find out for yourself what the Stoics were, you know, what the Stoics knew during their time that has been passed along to us. And do your best not to take this time that we have for granted. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through, try to embrace it, try to savor it, try to find the good from it, try to find any lessons, anything that you can gain from it, and let that make you a better person. Let that make you appreciate life and every present moment. So with that being said, I hope that whatever I said in this podcast moved you in some type of way, offered some sort of value, and it helped you in your life. And like I said, tap in with me for sure. I'm on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, here on YouTube. I appreciate the love and support. You know what I'm saying? I'm at about 130 episodes in, which is crazy. I'm definitely climbing, and getting more reps in to just get better and better, to challenge myself to keep getting better and better at this. And I'm having a good time while doing it. Sometimes it takes a little time for me to find that inspiration, so I have to learn how to create it. And I'm relying a lot more on my systems. At the time of this recording, it's already 11:10 in Hawaii, and I'm finally just now creating this to release it on a Monday. So, I'm not making no excuses. I made this commitment to y'all. I made this commitment to myself, and no matter what, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna enjoy it while I'm doing it for sure, so that I can be an example of what it is I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Being impeccable with my word, and just following through on my commitments, because it means that much to me. It means the world to me. Like Scarface said, all I got in this world is my balls and my word, man. So I'm trying to be impeccable with that. So yeah. Other than that, I'm sending big love to all y'all. Thank you once again for tuning in, and until the next time, y'all, peace and love.